Everywhere, your smartphone, in your car, to work, or live at KissWTLZ.com. We're Kiss 107.1.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen. I am interrupting your regular broadcast program to bring to you a special edition of Straight Talk. So your afternoon girlfriend, those of you who are tuned in, expecting to see your afternoon girlfriend, Yvonne Daniels, she is on hiatus for this first hour, but she will return in full swing at 4 p.m. But those of you who are tuned in right now, you're going to be tuned in for a special conversation. As we understand, it is lion season, and the entire state of Michigan is in an uproar. Today, we have a special guest that's going to be with us on today. The outstanding Herman Moore will be with us today as we begin to just have a great conversation. It is absolutely amazing. My producer, Matt, we call him White Soul. Matt, why don't you share a little bit about how geek you are that the Lions are now getting ready to be playing for the AFC Championship and just 2 games away from the Super Bowl?
Listen, I think I'm speaking for all Lions fans on this one. It feels amazing. We waited for this all our lives. Growing up, I think other than a select few, this is the only winning season that I've witnessed. And then, with the Lions, with the 0-16 season and all of that, we've had to come over a lot. And yeah, it's just an amazing feeling. I've loved the Lions. I've been a Detroit kid all my life. I love it.
I think everyone in the great state of Michigan can respect and understand those words, those sentiments. I remember as a young lad growing up in Saginaw, we would always go down. It was a tradition. Me and my dad, we would get tickets, he would get tickets, and we would go down and watch the Lions on Thanksgiving. And it was, sometimes we would get a victory. Sometimes there's something about that Thanksgiving game that brought out the best in everybody. Well, we're excited. Those of you who are in a social media stream, we certainly thank you. We're doing something very special today. We're actually going to be combining both Straight Talk and United Shades of Gray. We're going to be having a conversation for both of those audience. So tag and share this conversation with your friends, all of the people that you know, those who are near and far. Let them know that we're on. Straight Talk is on, and we're going to have a special conversation with our man Herman Moore, Lions standout receiver, number 84, one of the greats in the game, and still looking good. I mean, if you guys seen this guy, I can't wait till he comes in. He does not. He is age defying. When they say the black don't crack, they talking about my brother. So we're going to get into that conversation. But before we talk about that, there's something very important that's taking place. You know how we do always. We talk about what's on my mind. And so I got a couple of things that I like to share for you all. Once again, those of you, if you're tuning in and you're listening and you're thinking that you're getting ready to hear your afternoon girlfriend, Yvonne Daniels, I don't want to disappoint you, but for the next hour, you'll be here with me on Straight Talk with our special guest, Herman Moore. But she will return at the 4 o'clock hour. So you'll get your grooves and your music and all of your great contact. And she will let you know that you need to take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale, release. All right. But what's on my mind today? There's something happening in the city of Saginaw. Saginaw, wake up, wake up, wake up. We always say that there's nothing going down for our young people. There's nothing happening that they can be a part of. And right now, on tomorrow, there's something amazing happening. There is a youth explosion taking place. Yes, I gave a shout out to my great friend. I tell you, she's one of my favorite people on the planet, Miss Evelyn McGovern. And we were talking, and I told her that I was going to give you guys a shout out. The Youth Explosion, your voice, your choice presents Youth Explosion. January 27th, that's tomorrow, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. In this event, we have Algie Smith. Somebody's like, who's Algie Smith? That name sounds familiar. Yes, he is a local from the city of Saginaw, but he has gone on to do great things. You know him probably best, I would think, in the movie New Edition. He played the role, I believe it was, of Ralph Tresvant in the New Edition series. He did an amazing job. He's been some other pieces and films and things, and he's a music producer. He does a number of things. They also have artist and producer HBK Boom. That's right, one of the hottest artists that's in the city of Saginaw right now producing. He will be in the house. He will be performing as well, as I was also told. And then they have a keynote speaker. A lot of women, a lot of great things going on that are happening. They're giving you all kinds of information to make sure that you are aware of what's taking place. Miss Brazil and other individuals that are a part of this collective. Dr. Trail Donk Webb. I don't know him personally, but I was told that he is one of those individuals. He used to run with Lil Boozy, then he decided to do something different. Hear his amazing story, his testimony, as he shares that with the young people that are there tomorrow. This is a collaborative effort. I told you that in 2024, the word of the year is collaboration. And so this is a collaborative effort from the Women's of Color, First Ward Community Center, Saginaw Community Action Center, MPHI, and the NABE. So that will be taking place. I want you all to make sure that you are in the house. Get your youth involved. This is absolutely free. This will be held at the old Saginaw Academy of Success, Saginaw Success Academy over there. You know where Billy Irwin is over there, principal on Tuscola. I think it's 1000 Tuscola. Make sure that you are in the house. I know that me and the kids that I work with will be there in support. Bring your kids, pack the place out. First come, first serve. So make sure that you are there in a timely fashion. I'm going to tell you, these young people are absolutely bananas. Now, Matthew, you listen to HBK Boom as one of your artists that you listen to, correct?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. So how would you rate him in terms of the city of Saginaw, in terms of emerging artists that are coming right now?
Well, I know that he's been around for a while now. I'm honestly kind of surprised that he's just now starting to take off, because I've been listening to him for a while now.
And all the young people that I'm talking to, I tell you, with the kids from Dow Treasure Academy, other places, they are in this. They are excited about it. Get your kids involved. It'll be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., 1000 Tuscola at the Saginaw Success Academy over there. And we are going to make sure that we have a great time with that. Sunday at 6:30 p.m. What's going down, Matthew? Sunday at 6:30.
This 30 or this Sunday?
This coming Sunday.
Straight Talk. I'm assuming.
Straight Talk. You got to make sure that you're part of Straight Talk.
You know it.
All right, but we also want to make sure that you are tuning in, because the Lions.
Oh,
I can't believe it. This is a Lions special edition.
I thought you were talking about this Sunday. I know.
Yeah, but coming up in the future, we will be seeing the Lions. They're going to be playing for the AFC Championship against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I have to make a real admission. This is a real admission that I have to make for everybody that's out there. I have always been one of my favorite teams has always been the San Francisco 49ers. But I have to admit, when the home team is playing well, I've always been supportive of everything that comes out of Michigan. So this coming week, or when that game takes place, I am so excited to know that the Lions are going to be on the stage with another great team that we have out there. And so it's going to be so much fun, so much excitement taking place. The city is abuzz. And as I said, Michigan is in an uproar. All right. So those of you out there, we're getting ready to get into the conversation. I see the man of the hour is in background. So make sure you're paying attention to what's going on tomorrow, January 27th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We are having that youth explosion. Get your youth over to 1000 Tuscola. So now I just want to do a really brief introduction to a man who really needs no introduction. I had an opportunity to meet him some years ago. And what I will say about him, if you have never had the pleasure of meeting him, that he's a consummate gentleman. He is not only a great athlete, but he is a great guy. He was the first round draft pick in 1991 of the Detroit Lions, 10th overall. With 12 years in the NFL, 11 seasons with the Detroit Lions, one season, 2002, with the New York Giants. He hails from Virginia, the great state of Virginia, a city called Danville, Virginia, by way of George Washington High School, then to University of Virginia, where he has had an impeccable career. 670 receptions for 9,174 yards, 62 touchdowns. But I'm about to tell y'all something about my man that you all did not know. He is not just a football athlete, but he is a three-sport guy. Yes, remember, Bo knows this guy was knowing this as well. He was knowing three sports, doing his thing, basketball, football, and track. As a matter of fact, he is third in history as it relates to receptions, I believe, at his high school. And then also his high school, he held the record for the high jump until 2020. That is 30 years he held that record. Absolutely amazing. I want to bring to the forefront the man of the hour, the man, the myth, Sticky Fingers, the legend, Herman Moore. Come to the screen. How you doing, Herm?
Hey, I'm good. I appreciate it, Kareem. Thanks for having me.
We're having some difficulty hearing you. Are you making sure that you are on your end? Check mic, check mic.
1 2 1 2.
Here we go. We got you. How you doing, Herman? Welcome to Straight Talk.
No, I appreciate it. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Man, it is such a pleasure to have you here. As we were saying, the entire Michigan corridor, anyone who has ever been a Lions fan is a buzz. And we know that your time is premium. And for you to be able to share some of this time with us today is absolutely amazing. We certainly thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. We've spoken over the years, and I appreciate you reading out all those accolades. I forget about some of that. When you start talking about things that happened a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades ago, sometimes it gets lost. But it always amazes me, man. I've had a journey. I've had a career. I've had some things I've done over my life, but it's not done. And that's something that I try and tell people all the time. You never stop growing. You never stop learning. And you never stop achieving. And if you do, then you put your life on pause. So I continue to move forward.
Well, I'm excited about your story and really being able to have a conversation with you from a different perspective. We know, you as the Lions guy. We know you as the man who has the golden hands, who's able to catch the ball and make the moves. We love those things about you, but I would love to have a conversation with you because even in that opening that I gave, a 3-sport star. And I joked about Bo. There used to be commercials about Bo knows, and he played baseball and this and that and the other. But you were a 3-sport star. How in the world? And are you from a family of athletes? What's the deal? How'd you get all that talent?
You know what? My uncles, they were athletes. I come from a pretty big family, and the men in my family, we're all probably 6'2" or taller for the most part. And sports was really an outlet. I come from the inner city. I come from an area that from Danville, it was, considered the projects, whatever you want to call it, but it was home. It was family. It was village. We talked about that the other day. So it's like having that opportunity. You're around so many talented people, talented athletes that may not ever end up on the radar for any professional or collegiate team. But these were guys and young women who were just special, man, and gifted. So that's what it is, man. You had to compete. And if you didn't want to stand on the sideline watching everybody else play tackle football, you had to go out there and get something done. And I was small. I was a small player. Growing up in sports wasn't my thing because I was one of the smaller kids. I didn't really grow and become recognizable in terms of like, hey, that guy must be an athlete until really in my 11th, 12th grade year in high school, where I had like a growth spurt of like 6-7 inches over the summer. I mean, it was crazy. Like I couldn't wear any of my clothes, shoes, everything. But I came back and all of a sudden I know coaches loved me. they wanted me on all their teams.
I want to talk about. I want to talk about what this must feel like. You know, I was looking through and as I was preparing for this conversation, football is your thing, but you held the high jump record for 30 years until it took a freak of the world. It took COVID to get your record broken. Something extraordinary had to take place. How does it feel when you are able to make those kinds of strides that you see records standing for 30 years?
It's special. I really never look at it and go back and once I'm done with that, I move on to the next. And you leave it as a benchmark for others to say, okay, if this is what we're defining as great, or we're defining as being top tier or the summit, then so be it. And then it just gives people something to aspire to do. And that's what I see as, with my records.
You know, it's funny because you know when you're an excellent athlete because you have so many records and things that you have out there that you leave them as just a piece of history. I go back to my high school and I'm looking for anything I can find with my name on it. But one of the things that we talk about here, and this is really where I want to start this conversation with you, Mr. Moore, is we often talk about the village, and I make the statement that, as one of my good friends, Brian Pruitt, used to say, we often say that it takes a village to raise a child. But what happens when that village is on fire? You made the statement about Danville, growing up in Danville. Share a little bit about what was it like growing up in Danville, Virginia? What was that about?
Well, for those who don't know, Danville is right. It's one of the most southernest part of Virginia. It's right on the border of Virginia, North Carolina. We're right at the state line, and Danville's population, probably 65,000 people. It's an industrial place. My mother, she grew up working at a textile mill. Back in that time, there weren't a lot of jobs other than manufacturing jobs, and those are usually done for national chains that would look for outlets and pockets like that to get reasonable labor and labor costs. And that's kind of it. That was it. We had a couple high schools that were within our city limits, and yet everybody knew everyone. And you grow up, and it's close-knit families. Being that far down south, there was a little bit of racism you had to deal with for the most part, but that started to sports. Kind of blinds us. It puts racism in our blind spot, because I wasn't a part of that because I was so involved with sports. I didn't realize, just what was going on around the city or around the state or that part of the country at the time growing up. But a single parent mother raising 2 kids, working 2 jobs, doing side hustles and everything else to make ends meet.
So when you look at your life, and people take a look at you, much of what you experience in life is just like a lot of these other young brothers are experiencing in the community. They're growing up. Dad's not necessarily in the picture. Mom is doing everything she can. She is being super woman. And I often give a salute. Here we refer to those mothers, those women who have done what they were supposed to as queens. So shout out to all the queens. We see that they have them not only here in Michigan, but also in Virginia, doing what makes them great. When you look at your life growing up, what was the impact? Because I know that you're like an author and writer and all of these other, but what was the impact on Danville growing up in a community, being a standout athlete, not having that relationship with your father, and having a mother who was out there doing everything that she can? What was the impact on your life as a young Black man in that community?
My dad was well known in our city. His family was from there. He had families spread out throughout the East Coast, but knew him. There were other siblings, half siblings, and things of that nature. There's nothing that makes my story any unique or anything like that. So I did see him periodically every once in a while, but it wasn't a father, right? It wasn't a person who was in your home that was there every day to teach you your ways as a man through your young adulthood, your teenage years, and all those things. And it was tough because you had to learn from the people that you saw. You learn from the people that that are most visible to you, that you're around. And sometimes those may not have been the greatest influences, but there were these life skills that you learned about survival. And there's a certain type of toughness And I don't mean just necessarily in a physical sense, but there's not a lot that's thrown your way, especially in life like now when people say they're going through it. They don't understand why sometimes we look at their storm and say, you know what, that's a vacation. Because we can't, we don't understand in some capacities unless you've been in those type situations. And so without that, I try and not use that as a point of saying, hey, I can't achieve and I can't do certain things because of where my point of origin is. It's all about the journey, and the journey is what strengthens us, and the lessons that we learn along the way allows us to achieve and overachieve. So I just use that as really my mantra. I use that as the point, and when I'm telling people about where I came from and what my life was like, I can point to some things, but it's not going to be overly unique. I think the experience itself make it unique.
I want to ask this question because you knew who your dad was. You said he was pretty popular in the area.
Yep.
How that's crazy. A lot of kids don't, like, I didn't meet my dad till I was 17 years old, right? So I didn't know him, and having him not there, I think, was a blessing, because I can't imagine knowing who my dad is and not having him present. Sometimes absence makes it easier. Was it difficult being in a situation as a young Black man, having these great abilities and these skills, and knowing your father, but your father still be absent?
It was definitely tough. I would put it like this. I'm in classrooms, and these kids are similar in age. Like, I have some that slightly older by a few years, couple years. I got some that are slightly younger, and then I got some that are exact same age. So anyone who understands how that works, I mean, you understand? So I'm in classes, and we know who each other are. And
Wow.
you also, there's a little friction, because you see how you're living and you see how they're living, especially if he's got his own family and he's in that home and he's not in yours. And then you want to try and bond with these other people, but how can you have cohesiveness and have that type of rapport with the individual? And then you're asking someone to do that at a young age, and to do that when we don't even understand how to handle our own relationships that are functional. And so it was not tough, but it gave me a different perspective. A lot of people say, well, men can't be men unless they have men in their lives raising them. And I think there's something to be said with that. But I also believe that there's an example of that you learn from women. And especially when I look at my mother, if I had someone say, hey, if you could do it over, would you do it different? I go, I'm where I'm supposed to be. Everything that has happened to me is supposed to happen that way, is divine. And she put a certain pathway for me, and showed me some things from just how she worked, and just her resilience, and just her determination, her commitment to the things that she made, didn't make excuses. And she went out and she's working in a world where we know men are given, the look first, for job opportunities. And then for a woman to have to sit there and sit on the back, it opened my eyes to the inequalities that sometimes will take place. It opened my eyes to the vulnerability that we have sometimes in women, and that they need, not that they need our physical help and all that, but they need certain support that we have to have a vision and understanding of. And if you've only been under a man's watch for that entire time, then you wouldn't understand that struggle. And so for me, I have a different vision, I have a different purpose, and I have a different place when it comes to understanding not just people who I think are put in those lesser positions, but understanding what we need to do to raise up others and make sure that we be champions and change agents for other people.
I greatly appreciate that. I growing up with a single parent in a single parent home, you learn how to lean in for women. I want to ask you a question. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back from this commercial break, I want to ask you this. When did you realize that you were just not an average athlete, but there was something special about you? We're going to take a quick commercial break. Think about that question really quick. When we come back, we'll be speaking more with Herman Moore, number 84, the fans' favorite. You know him, you love him. We'll take a quick commercial break and be right back.
Achoo! Is your old ride making you sick? Ryan Wasik here from Bell Wasik GMC Buick, your only local Buick dealer and home with a lifetime warranty. And this month, I'm your doctor of savings because I've got the cure for the common car. That means you could drive a nicer, newer car for just $1 down. So if your old ride's giving you a fever, I got the prescription you need. Right now, you can drive a car you love without coughing up a lot of dough. Trust me, these low down payments are nothing to sneeze at. You could drive for just $1 down. Sweating some past credit mishaps? My For the People credit approval process is like a spoonful of sugar. It helps the deals go down. So ditch that old clunker that's making you sick and cruise home happy and healthy in a nicer, newer ride. Because I've got your cure for the common car. And you could drive for just $1 down. But hurry, this deal's done once I help 23 people find the cure for the nicer, newer car. I'm Ryan Wasik and I'm your dealer for the people. See all the cars at RyanApproved.com. That's RyanApproved.com.
Credit $1 down, require bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Offer absolutely ends January 31st, 2024.
At Wildfire Credit Union, our team will tell you that everything we do is for our members because it's about you always.
Recently, I was working with a member to purchase an auto loan and saw an opportunity to help them save some money. By refinancing their credit card debt, we were able to save them over $600 a month. This is one of the many ways that we deliver outstanding service to our members.
Delivering marvelous experiences, saving members money, providing personalized service, going the extra mile. That's Wildfire Credit Union. It's what we do every day. Find out for yourself. Call 800-227-2328. Click on wildfirecu.org or come by any Wildfire location to experience banking the way it's supposed to be, where it's about you, always. Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender. These are actual examples of savings and not guaranteed in every situation.
It seems like everywhere you look right now, someone is sick. This year, prepare your family for airborne invaders like bacteria, pollen, and yes, germs with Navage Nasal Care. Navage flushes ultra-pure, refreshing saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril. Navage sucks out viruses, dust, and other airborne particles, all the stuff that gets trapped in your nose, making you miserable. Don't get caught empty-handed this winter. Get Navage, the drug-free solution that helps you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Even better, Navage is HSA, FSA eligible. So Navage is a great way to spend those funds before they expire. Don't wait a minute longer. Buy Navage today and you'll breathe easier knowing you're putting your funds to good use. Navage is available online at Navage.com or Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Want the lowest tire price period? Then save up to $200 with rebates on a set of 4 Goodyear tires. Plus, only Bell Tire includes the entire life package, exclusive and extensive maintenance to help you get more miles out of every tire you buy. Get up to $200 off with rebates on 4 Goodyears with entire life. Visit our website to see how it all works for you. Buy online and you will save time. Get up to $200 off. Get the lowest tire price period and get entire life. Only at Bell Tire. See store or belltire.com for details. Restrictions apply.
The new year is here. Time for change. Start a recession-resistant new career in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, and AI with My Computer Career in just months. Already in IT? Build your cybersecurity skills and prep for thousands of open positions employers nationwide are desperate to fill. Attend classes live online or on campus. Make this your year. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. That's mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill.
Can't sleep with this cold.
Honey.
Honey?
Honey. You need NyQuil Severe Honey.
NyQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a dreamy honey taste.
Feeling better, honey? Honey? I'll take that as a yes.
Try NyQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu symptom relief. NyQuil Severe with honey flavor. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever. Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
This week's exclusive offer on RocketGrabPlus.com is brought to you by Applied Training Solutions, located in the Midland Mall. Get ready for a 50% discount on a CPL class. That's right. Originally priced at $150, now available for just $75. This class is a requirement for concealed carry permits in the state of Michigan and is only available to ages 21 and over. Don't miss out on this fantastic deal. Visit RocketGrabPlus.com to claim yours today.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Feeling trapped with that old phone? Don't. Getting a new phone is easy. Come into Verizon and get one of our best phones on us with Select Trade-In on Unlimited Ultimate Plan and get a plan that helps you save by only paying for what you need. Act now and get a brand new phone at your Verizon store today. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on Unlimited Ultimate Plan required. Less up to $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Trade-in conditions apply.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
This is Kareem Bowen, and you're here with a special edition of Straight Talk. We'll call it the Lions edition. We certainly want to thank your afternoon girlfriend, Yvonne Daniels, for making an amendment to her schedule for allotting the space for me to have this conversation with number 84, fan favorite, Herman Moore. I asked you a question before the break. Herman, the question was, when did you realize that you were just not an other player, but you were next worldly? When did you realize there was something unique about you?
I would say it would have to be when I started playing different sports. Like after I went that growth spurt, I remember my 11th grade year was the first time I went out for a high jump. And the coach was like, okay, try this thing. So I did high jump. Started out, I didn't really make the height. I was only jumping, maybe 6 foot or something like that. And then all of a sudden I got my technique down. Once I got my technique down, all of a sudden I'm hitting 6'8", 6'10". I'm passing until like everyone's out of the competition. I come in, I do one jump and I'm winning. And all of a sudden I'm going over 7 feet. And now it's like these colleges. I mean, you pick a college that had a track program in the country, they were sending me letters to be recruited. And then I was playing basketball, and at that time it was J.R. Reed, Alonzo Mourning, and those guys were in our conference. We ended up going 23-1. We lost to Alonzo Mourning's team in the state finals, but that was a heck of a run for us, And when I'm shooting, and all of a sudden it's like you're getting 13 out of 14 from the field.
Wow!
And basketball wasn't my thing. I thought of myself more. I'm just saying, like I was more of a rebounder and a dunker, right? Because I could jump. And then in football, the place where I was having the least amount of success, I want you to think about this. So it was my senior year, and I tell people this story so they understand just how things work. And if you stick with, doing what you're supposed to do and let the plan handle itself. It was the last play of my senior year. I hadn't gotten a lot of scholarship offers for football to go play. I had more in track and field, and I had a few more in basketball. Football was the least amount that I had. And last play of the game, coach puts me in as a defensive back to knock a pass down. And instead of knocking the pass down, I ended up intercepting it. In the stand happened to be the coach from the University of Virginia who was there watching, who was a receivers coach for Virginia, who was watching his son play his game and happened to be in the stands, came over and said, hey, who's that guy that intercepted the pass last? And the coach says, that's Herman Moore, he's number 82 or whatever. He said, I'd like to have him come for a visit to UVA. And I want to maybe give him an opportunity. How's his grades? Well, I had poor grades. And that's the other thing. I wasn't a great student in high school. And I didn't qualify, but I had to take summer school and had to get SATs up and do all this stuff. And that's how I ended up getting my scholarship to the University of Virginia off of that one last play. Someone watching me go out and make this thing happen and is seizing a moment. So it's not that I knew. It's sometimes it takes other people seeing things in you that you don't see in yourself. And then saying, hey, let me set you on a path. And then on that path, now will you run in front, behind, or align yourself with that opportunity? And for me, I had to get in alignment with it. And once I did, that's when I knew I hit stride. And that would probably be my junior year in college when I knew I was cooking with grease. So
cooking with hot grease.
I was cooking with. I had a flamethrower by the time I hit that time of it. Yeah,
that is a powerful story because what in essence, what you're saying is that sometimes seizing a moment really positions you for a career and a life that you could never anticipate. So super powerful. I want to turn a little bit. So now you're in contention. You are getting ready to be drafted. Now, are you in the green room for this experience?
No, I didn't get. I was invited to go out to New York at the time, and I decided to stay home because I said, you know what? Everyone was saying, you know what, man, you're going to be a first round pick, and you could hear it. I didn't want to be the one that was on TV with the camera fixed on me, wondering when I'm gonna get picked. And now they've gone to the second round, the third round, or something like that. So I decided to stay home with my family and with the people who have been there with me all my life. If you can't give a ticket for everyone to come out that supported me,
man,
and I'm gonna stay there with my people, and so that's what I ended up doing.
So share that moment when you heard your name called, and with the 10th pick of this NFL draft, the Detroit Lions choose Herman Moore. What went through your mind? What were you feeling? What was the experience?
A lot of people like to use when things like that occur, like it's surreal. It's a culmination, man. It was a moment where you take a deep sigh of relief because you've just crossed over to another milestone. You just leveled up, and you now moving on to a new journey and a path. And for me, it was a pause and remembering back all the ingredients that came into play, and then that brought me to this moment to be drafted as a professional football player, growing up in a city of Danville, housing projects, single parent, bad, I wasn't a great student, and all the things that I could have turned left on, I turned right, and ultimately ending up to this moment in time where I'm supposed to be. It didn't mean the journey was over. It means that it meant that I had an opportunity to move on to the next level, to the next thing. And it was awesome. And I felt more from my mother at that point. I looked at her face, I looked at her eyes, and I tell this to the kids. I said, greatest love you can give your parents. Yeah, you could tell them every day you love them. The way you can show them is you got to go out there and take what they've given you, and you got to make the most of it. You got to make most of the mentorships. You got to make most of the people that are feeding you the positive messages and the advice. That's how you pay it back. You can't pay it back any other way. You can't pay it back anyway. And it's not about the money. She wasn't looking at the money. She was looking at, she had a happy son. And I look back and I had a happy mother and a proud one.
That is so amazing. Now, I cannot just jump because I really want to talk about what you're doing right now. Mm-hmm. But we have to give these Lion fans out here what they're really asking and wanting for. So you had an amazing career with the Lions, and you are arguably one of the fan favorites of the time when you were playing with the Lions. Where do the Lions fans, where do they register in Herman Moore's heart? When you think about all of the games, the excitement moments, the disappointments, the chanting of the fans. One thing that the Lions do they are some dedicated fans. They have dedicated fans. So where do the Lions rank? Where are they in your heart?
As it relates just to like an organization in terms of what they mean,
your history with the team and the fans.
With the team, I mean, they rank high. I mean, the fans are gonna rank. My teammates are gonna rank first because those are the ones you take to the field with. Those are the ones that you go and you really lay it out there on the line with. And then from there, it's going to be the fan base and what they've meant to supporting the career during, afterwards, and all those things. And then it's anybody and everybody else. I mean, it just really is. But I hold it in a special place because it defined a special moment in my life. It has provided me certain opportunities that I wouldn't be afforded if they weren't there. But I always tell people they can only do the extension of saying, here's the opportunity. Person still has to seize it. And then once you get it, you have to do something with it. And so it's not a journey that has been lonely because I've had to do it with a lot of people. So I hold them in high esteem. But, in terms of my life as a whole, it's going to fall down a little bit because there's some things that I value a lot more than some of those things. I look at it as an opportunity, but there's some other things that have been more defining than sports and the Lions that have really made my life what it is.
I'm glad you said that because that's a great segue to where I wanted to go. I've been pleasured to be able to see you in a different light than just on a football field. And one of the things that excites me about you is one we have in common. We are both techies. We love technology. You're a tech person. The other thing is that you are, if I were to look in a dictionary and saw serial entrepreneur, there would be a picture of Herman Moore, like right there. As you look at your life beyond the Lions and you look at the things that you have been doing, share a little bit about where you are and who is Herman Moore today?
I would say today I am a really, and I've always been really a champion of others. And in that has led me to a vision of business. And that business means providing opportunity, not only for myself, but for others. And that's kind of who I am. That's my fabric. And in doing that, I try and get involved with organizations. I try and put together businesses as an entrepreneur that can give others pathway to empowerment, to sustainability, to being, their best selves. Like I need them to be excellent. And how can you provide an opportunity, an environment, and support that allows you to have that type of environment around you? And it's not easy because everyone's not cut the same. But it doesn't mean you cast them to the side, because I could have easily been cast to the side. So I have some persistence in me, even as a business owner. But all the businesses that I do now lean more towards that. They have to have scalability. They have to be able to have a connection with community, and they have to have, again, sustainability.
I laugh when we were having these conversations, and after we were talking the last time, I got off the phone and I was like, wow, Herman is super articulate, microaggression for a black man. No, I was sitting there thinking, like, he is super duper articulate. I was like, we should do a podcast called the Articulate Black Man. But,
I speak well.
you speak well, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. But I really want you to share, as an entrepreneur, as a serial entrepreneur, you have a family of companies that you work with, from manufacturing to e-commerce to marketing and branding. I think the last time I reached out to you, you were sharing some more social media technology. Let's give an idea to the people of some of the things that you're really doing and the things that you're really passionate about as it relates to business. I think it's interesting that you said that you never were a good student, but you are a very respected entrepreneur and businessman. So let's share a little bit about what your journey looks like as an entrepreneur.
I'll do that. And for your listeners and for the audience to understand and just kind of peel back a little bit some of my layers. I'm a disruptor, and I don't mean that in a negative connotation. I mean that in the sense that I challenge tradition. I challenge sometimes things that are there. And it's not that I go against the grain, but I always say, how do we improve? Where are the problems? Where can you break something that's going to need to be repaired? It's forward thinking. I was always looking at how do you continue to move the bar. And that scares people. Sometimes when you get set in your ways and you get set into being normal and average, it scares you when you come across people say, I want more than that. I want more than average. I want more than just normal. And people will fall off. Some people will talk about you. Some people will want to bring you back down and make you knock down because they don't want to see you elevate. And it's not because of that. It's because it makes them feel bad about themselves. So what I always look at is the businesses that I do. And for the audience, I used to own all the Cinnabon stores here in Michigan. I used to own all the Cinnabon stores in Florida. I was their second largest partner. And this was during my last year playing football with the Lions. And then I held that for 6 years before I ultimately ended up selling those stores back to corporate. And at one point got up to owning about a little over 30 franchises, but it was a conglomerate of different franchises. Fast forward, I got into technology because I had to do so much of that within my industry, within my businesses, learning about point of sale systems, learning about marketing, branding, employees, so HR, from some legal contracts, all these things, construction, building my own spaces. And once you go through all that, I had some history and some lessons of learning some good, some bad, and some crash and burns. And yet what I've learned is that I'm built for this, and I'm built to have some ups and downs, but I have always a path forward. Now I do contract manufacturing. Some people just let them know what that is if they don't. So we create products for a lot of national brands We do it for a lot of large Amazon brands in the personal care space. Here in Michigan, we work with some of the national brands like Native. We work with Manscaped. We work with a large laundry brand, actually the number one selling laundry brand on Amazon. We do all of their products and manufacturing here in Michigan. And then we have our own personal. I have my own personal one called Golden. That's my own personal care product for men that we grew from nothing to seven-figure business in 3 years. So I love that. I love challenging that. And it shows people that it's not the start, it's the finish. And it's the inertia, it's the initiative to go out and get things done. I'm not any different than anyone else. I'm not different than anyone that it's not about the money. I didn't do this with my Detroit Lion money. I want people to understand that. I did this with blood, sweat, and tears. I did this with putting some risk of my own personal expenses on the line that did not come from the Lions. And that's important that I say that. And there's a whole nother backstory to that one. But so that's who I am right now. Branding and marketing, social, understanding my brand, understanding, okay, I need to be in control of that. I need to understand and let people know exactly who I am and what I stand for, because that is the power that we have. We're in a very big society that is driven by impressions. They're driven by content. So managing that, a lot of players just let others do that. They let the teams do it. They let their workplace do it. They let their friends do it. But I have to do my own. So yeah, it's a lot of different various businesses, buying, acquiring businesses, selling businesses that we do right now.
We're going to finish this conversation after this commercial break, and we're going to talk about predictions coming up for the Lions. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more of Herman Moore.
Showcase Mitsubishi Bay City has the perfect solution for your New Year's resolution. Save thousands with 0% financing for 60 months during the Save More in 2024 sales event at Showcase Mitsubishi Bay City. Buy the all-new 24 Outlander SUV with third row seating, or the all-new 24 Eclipse Cross SUV with 0% financing for 60 months and the Showcase Mitsubishi 10-year 100,000-mile warranty. You heard right, that's 0% financing for 60 months. Or drive the all-new 24 Outlander SUV with third row seating for just $399 a month. Plus 2 years no cost maintenance on new 2024 Mitsubishis. Looking for a fresh start with your credit? Showcase Mitsubishi Bay City says come and get it. We're the home of credit forgiveness, and you can get pre-approved today with no effect on your credit score at showcasemitsubishi.com. Save big at Showcase Mitsubishi Bay City.
0 APR 1667 3000 finance. 48 months, 10,000 miles per year lease with 1090 due assignment plus tax, title, license, and dealer fees. Includes factory rebate with approved credit offers not combined.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ziprecruiter.com/free.
What did a clean slate do for you?
If I had to describe getting an expungement in one word, it would be ecstatic. I feel like a rebirth. I'm reborn today. And you get an opportunity to have better employment and better housing. And that's priceless.
Do you have a criminal record? Search Clean Slate Michigan today.
Start off the new year by focusing on your health. Great Lakes Bay Health Centers is here to help, providing medical, dental, behavioral health, and many other healthcare services. Flu season is here, and it's important to keep up to date on your vaccines, especially for flu and COVID-19. We are accepting new patients, and everyone is welcome regardless of your insurance coverage. Call 989-921-5377. That's 989-921-5377 to schedule your appointment with Great Lakes Bay Health Centers.
Listen. Do you hear that? That's the sound of wide open spaces at Shanty Creek Resort in Bel Air. The sound of laughter coming from the Alpine Tubing Park. The sound of splashing in the pool. The sound of shussing down Shuss Mountain. Here, we go outside and play. When it's time for you to enjoy the wide open spaces of northern Michigan, we'll be here to welcome you at Shanty Creek Resort with over 375 lodging options, 42 downhill ski and snowboard runs, and plenty of outdoor fun in Bel Air and online at shantycreek.com.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Why pay full price when you know you can save at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out the deals and treat yourself to half off 6 tightening facials from Blossom Spa. Perhaps a unique experience and a fun night out at Reality Check in Bay City. Or does your fur friend need quality food or a special treat? Grab a gift certificate to DTLA Pet Supplies in Fenton. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Hey, Doc, nice office. Quick question. If you had to choose, would you give yourself a root canal or run payroll?
Run payroll, no question.
Seriously? Have you run payroll before?
Paying my team with Gusto couldn't be easier. Gusto gives me unlimited payroll runs, next day direct deposits, and automatically files my taxes. Saves me time.
Wow, that's nice.
Over here, Doc. Can I run payroll too?
Choose payroll without the pain. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
I feel like I'm constantly cleaning hair off my bathroom floor. At least my Swiffer Sweeper makes it easy. Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths have ultra-thick pads to trap and lock hairs, like a hair magnet. And when I'm finished cleaning up my hair, Sweeper takes care of his too. Now the hair's gone, all thanks to Swiffer. Try Swiffer Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths. I promise you'll love them or your money back. And also try Swiffer Sweeper Wet to make quick work of tough, sticky messes.
Only one show can make Morning Madness fun.
Your man Steve Harvey.
The Strawberry Letter. Tommy's prank phone call.
You kiss my and get off my phone. You just got pranked. Lord have mercy.
And more. The Steve Harvey Morning Show on Kiss 107.1. Kiss 107.1. Always giving you the biggest R&B hits from the biggest R&B artists.
Yo, it's October London.
Take me back to your place.
What's up? This is Balbec DeVoe.
That girl is crazy.
Yeah, man, this is Usher.
But that don't mean that I can't wish you better. We feel good, but we still.
I remember that.
Kiss 107.1.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on Kiss 107.1.
All right, this is Kareem, and we're back with more of Herman Moore. Those of you who are normally tuned in to your afternoon girlfriend, Yvonne Daniel, she's in the social media stream, but she'll be back at 4 o'clock. Herman, I wanted to just kind of snap into what you were talking about, all of your businesses. I think that is just amazing, your business acumen and what you've been able to accomplish as a businessman. Let's talk a little bit about you as a philanthropist, because I know that you have a special place in your heart as it relates to young people. So share with me a little bit about what you're doing, because I think that's another point of synergy that we have as it relates to our impact with young people.
No, I appreciate that. I have a Tackle Life Foundation, always been a part of understanding the importance of community. A lot of people say give back. I say, it's reach back and pull up, and it's let people to enjoy the journey. Yeah. Let them enjoy the journey with you. It means a lot. And when you go to our business pages, you'll see the first thing we talk about is philanthropy. We talk about the importance of connection to community and providing those opportunities back to others. So entrepreneurship is something that, as I mentioned earlier in your show, that is really big for me. So we put a lot of support and work around that and helping young and novice budding entrepreneurs get their business off the ground. Because we have the end-to-end solution and because we can take them from start to finish, we keep them at go. We don't have to bring in third-party partners in order to help fulfill whatever it is we say that we can deliver for those individuals. So that makes our business a little bit different and makes our philanthropy and our charities a little bit different. We also do a lot with mental health support services for educators, for families who can't afford it, for kids who may need it. And in doing that, it allows us to do it for those who can't afford it. Doesn't mean they don't need the help. So we try and put and wrap some of that around what we do. So it's all about sustainability. It's about empowerment. It's about getting to people when they can still have foundational values instilled in them and putting them to give them the right path forward, but also taking those that are just looking to scale their business. They're just needing a little bit more support. They're part of this social and economic divide that takes place sometimes that put them in a disadvantaged position. And so we try and be that gap filler where we can, when we can.
Okay. So with that being said, I have to ask for the fans. It's not me, Herm. They're twisting my arm every time we go off air to ask. There's a big game coming up.
What game you talking about? There's a game? No, man, there's no game.
With the Lions and the 49ers.
Pickleball.
This has been absolutely an amazing journey. How do you see this game turning out? What are your thoughts about this upcoming game?
I see this as an opportunity right now for this team to kind of finish what they've been on, and that's one heck of a run. This has been a magical year, but I think a year that is what they have made it, and they deserved it. They put in the work. The players have stayed healthy. The coaches have coached. The players have played, and because of that, they're in the right position to have this opportunity to be one game away from a division championship, but then also getting to a Super Bowl. Man, that it's almost surreal to say that, because if you looked at this team that was struggling to figure out who's going to be their wide receivers, and the quarterback situation, the defensive situation, and all this other stuff, brand new coach that people didn't really know what to take because of his press conferences, that all of a sudden now has turned into coach of the year, turning into executives of the year with Brad Holmes, to having a division championship. I mean, think about it. And I have to think about this myself sometimes. They only have two more things to achieve at this level to say, you know what, we've gone all the way. The only thing they haven't won is a division championship yet, conference championship, and they haven't won a Super Bowl. Short of those two, those are the only two milestones that are going to be left on the resume for these players and these coaches to say, you know what, we went all the way. So that's an amazing feat.
That is absolutely amazing. All right. So just for those who are listening and those entrepreneurs out there, we've been having some conversation off air, and we talked about getting together. So don't y'all trip out if y'all see, you go to your favorite restaurant and you see Mr. Moore in there. We're breaking bread. Yes, I have elevated my friend status. We're boys now, Herm.
Oh,
We're
come
boys.
on, Kareem. We've always been boys, man. Yeah, people don't know that. One day we'll have to enlighten them on our history, man. But yeah, absolutely.
It's a colorful history. But I think one of the things that I want you to leave with our audience is this, and it's not about sports. It's about perseverance, and it's about the attitude and the spirit that an entrepreneur must have to be successful in what it is that they do. There's a ton of them in the stream. Shar Goolsby down there in Detroit, shout out to you. She's a wonderful woman with a lot of power and doing great things as an entrepreneur in the Detroit area. But I want you to share, if you were to give some words of wisdom to these young entrepreneurs, there's a lot of them out here that are interested, may have a setback and looking to do something different. What words of wisdom would you part ways with them on today?
Well, I'll say this. I had the privilege yesterday of being part of, in the city of Detroit, the keynote speaker for Passport to Procurement. You got over 500 businesses throughout the city that are looking for support, that are looking for information and education. I'll say this to them. One, know your business. All right? Know your business. And if you're going to get into something, get into it with passion. And when you get into it, understanding that you're jumping into a place that is not unique in terms of opportunity for you. It's one that you can make made and tailor fitted for you, but it's got to have the passion behind it. And you're going to have to be resilient. You're going to have tenacity, and you're going to have to be able to see it all the way through. It's going to be up and down. You're going to have some lessons learned, not losses. And you're going to have to, sometimes you're going to question yourself if you're built for it. And only person that can answer that is you. And it means if you will see it through and give it your best, you'll end up where you're supposed to be. Don't chase the money. Don't chase the money. Chase the fact that you're chasing something that you feel passionate about, that you feel that you have a commitment to, and ask for it to be committed back to you because you did everything right. So education, stay the course, believe in what you're doing, and know your business. And if you do those things, you can have a successful career as an entrepreneur.
Wow, thank you so much. An hour goes by so fast, but you are definitely going to be back, my man. We'll get you into the city of Saginaw. We're going to put you before an audience, let you really share some of your entrepreneurial spirit. But I want to thank you for spending this time with me. We have to go. Go Lions, my favorite Lion, number 84. Herman Moore signing off. To those of you out there, we're getting ready to pull back in with the afternoon girlfriend, Yvonne Daniels. Stick, stay, don't go away. We'll be back with more of that afternoon girlfriend show. Thank you very much, Herm.
Thank you very much.
You've been listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1. The views and opinions expressed on Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen